I don't know when I started doing it, but ever since I started doing it, it's just been a time saver. And so I take that section and I split it into 3, and then because I feel like my nails were a little bit shorter, so I was using a comb. But if you're not using a comb, you would just be grabbing this section with just your finger instead of a comb, like how I'm doing. So as I'm going through, I'm just taking little section by section because I wanted to really have that like stitch look. And I feel like if you don't want the stitches, the corners can be a little easier to do, but I just feel like this just looks so much neater overall. But I don't want you to be stressed out that I'm using like a comb instead of my fingers. So like what I'm grabbing with my comb, if you have long nails or like you just prefer using your hands, you just grab it with like your finger instead. So I just go through and do this like the entire time until I get to the bottom. So I'm gonna let you guys watch this, and if you're practicing at home, make sure you are patient with yourself and you take your time, and if you mess up, just try again. See that I stopped using the comb because I just, personal preference, I stopped using the comb and then I started using my hand. So if you're using your hand from the jump, this is kind of like the rhythm that you should be following, and this is kind of like how it should look by now.